We can take this ride wherever it goes. As long as you're with me, I feel at home. Can you tell me why? 'Cause I wanna know. As long as you're with me, I feel at home. Yeah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello ATF friends. It is really amazing today because we have a very special podcast with me, Anggun Izzatul Khafifah, as your host in today's episode. Well, ADF friends, as we know that some people still think that beauty pageant is only about physical appearance, about physical beauty. Well, it's not actually like that. We have the term of beauty, brain, and behavior. And those three B's are the values that beauty pageants wants to bring. And now, in this very special episode, we also welcome a very special guest, an undoubtedly amazing woman that has represented Indonesia, our country, in the international stage. So please welcome Kak Adinda CRESHEILLA, our Putri Indonesia Pariwisata 2022, and also third runner-up Miss Supranational 2022. Please welcome Kak Adinda. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much also to having me here today, and very excited to dig deep about the importance of beauty pageant and how it involves in our daily life.
Yes, because I followed your social media. I think that you have a very busy schedule, but you give our time to have a conversations about beauty pageant and also how to compete internationally. Okay. So, Kak Dinda, please, first thing first, you can greet the audiences of ATF Podcast and maybe introduce yourself briefly.
Okay, so hi ATF friends, it's me here, Adinda CRESHEILLA, your Putri Indonesia Pariwisata 2022, and honored to be the third runner-up of Miss Supranational 2022, representing Kota Batu, Jawa Timur.
Oh my God, thank you so much, Kak Dinda. That is a really amazing and beautiful introduction. Okay, so Kak Adinda, as we know that you have joined a beauty pageant for like almost a year now.
Yep.
Yeah. And but before we go into that deeply, like I stated before, that being a beauty pageant is not only about beautiful.
Yes.
It is also about intellectually.
Yes.
So, as we know that Kak Adinda has been pursuing the education in the University of Indonesia, one of the best universities in Indonesia, and also doing a double degree program in Australia. So please explain about us, about the journey, the experiences about that.
Okay, so firstly, let me talk a bit about the fun fact about Universitas Indonesia, because firstly, I was joining another university back in 2015 because the announcement of University of Indonesia is a bit late. So I did join another university in Jakarta a month or 2 months. Then just after that, University of Indonesia announcement just came in, and I told Ibu, pengumuman UI baru keluar, and I got in. So without further ado, apply to Universitas Indonesia and gladly join the FISIP faculty and then the communication major, and got in as in the double degree program. So 2 years in Universitas Indonesia and 2 years in Melbourne, Australia. So graduating with sarjana ilmu sosial ilmu politik from Universitas Indonesia, and then from the Melbourne is Bachelor of Communication. So basically between those 4 years I have to bear 2 universities at the same time and graduating with those 2 degrees. At first, it was kind of challenging because I know University of Indonesia has lots of, what do you say? I don't want to say it as a burden because it's not a burden, but it's actually a challenge to study in one of the best university in Indonesia.
Yes, indeed.
And at those time, I was the only student from Malang.
Oh.
So, of course, culture barriers is there, communication barrier is there. I was afraid to socialize at first because of course they say anak Jawa nih, from Jawa. Jadi those stigmas is one of the reason why I was afraid to blend in at the first place. And being the only student from Malang, from Kota Batu, from Jawa Timur, has pushed me even further to afraid to socialize gitu. So what I did at first, I was just observing my friends. How do they talk, how do they communicate, and what do they talk about, so I could blend in the moment. But then after a month or so, turns out it's not really that bad. Turns out they really care about all of the cultures in Indonesia. They really have really high tolerance. So there is no single thing about bullying that I experienced back then, and even I have really great experience while in Universitas Indonesia. I joined organization, I joined the basketball community, tennis community, and all of as much community as I could join. So while studying in Universitas Indonesia for 2 years, then 2017, I got help from the government of Kota Batu as well to go to Melbourne University, Australia. And then another challenge occurred, another culture
shock.
another culture shock, because in Australia, of course, there has been some issues about Asian racial bullying. But then when I came to Melbourne, firstly, when I thought that my goal here is to finish my study, because after that, I know that the fundamental of education in Indonesia is very decreasing. It's lacking.
Yes.
And what did I experience in Melbourne was so different. It was so liberal. It was kind of the experience that I have never did before. So while studying in Melbourne, I get to work in 3 different places.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What are those?
So I work in a restaurant called Nando's. I work in another restaurant called Familiaria, and I work as a part-time model as well. So in Melbourne, while studying, I get to work as well in 3 different places. So that kind of community, that kind of culture encourage us to also work as soon as possible. My colleagues are at the workplace, they are ranges about 15 to 18 years old. So I was kind of like the big sister there. I was
oldest.
the oldest there. So people and students in Australia were
Part-time?
we're pushed to work as soon as possible. I think that's the main difference between the education here in Indonesia and in Australia, because in Indonesia we have to study from dusk till dawn, and we have no extra time to take care of our passion, of what can we apply outside the curriculum, such thing as that. But alhamdulillah, graduated with distinction from the Deakin University, and I also graduated from Universitas Indonesia with cum laude. It was quite an achievement for me, because during high school or even middle school, I have never been into the top tiers of the class. So actually to have achievements such thing as that in university, it was kind of shocked me actually.
That is really amazing, Adinda. You can manage to be in your university with a good grade, but also working at the same time. That is really amazing. And maybe since you said that it is very different in Indonesia and also in Australia, how can you be so easy to blend in that kind of culture?
So at that time, I said I was afraid to blend in. But then if I was afraid, how can I move on? So I decided to to join the local communities, the organization, the student organization, so I can get to know other people from other countries such as India, China, of course the local Australians, some from the US as well. So from joining those local communities, I get to know their culture and what do they talk about, whether their interest and how do they do their stuff here there in Melbourne.
Okay, so ADF friends, like what Kak Adinda has experienced, so we know that beauty pageant is not only physical beauty, but also Kak Adinda managed to have a really good or even amazing grade in the university and graduated with double degree, and that is really amazing. And since you mentioned that you also be a part-time model when you were in Melbourne, so how can you join a beauty pageant when before you were a model?
Yeah, so actually being a model, at the first place, it wasn't my choice. I was pushed by my mom to join the school here in Malang. But then when I dig deeper into it, turns out this is my passion. Being a model or being in front of camera is actually one of my passion and one of my interests that I want to do for the rest of my life. So while in Australia, might as well. I have different skin tone, I have different face. So why don't I just try and test the market? Could I sell the clothes? Could I have a chance here being a model in other country? So yes, I did. I get signed by an agency back in Melbourne. And of course, being a model is quite different with being a beauty pageant queen. Because being a model, what you need to sell is just the clothes. But with being a beauty pageant queen, the main point is yourself. What you can bring to the table. Yes, your personality and the matter of your voice, that's the most important thing. So, of course, I have to learn a lot with being a beauty pageant. I have to train myself, especially in public speaking, also in about manners and stuff like that. It's so different. While being a model, you can just being another person in front of camera, but being a beauty pageant queen, behind the camera is what actually matters. Behind the camera, you have to socialize with people. How do you make impression with the people, and how do you build those connections within the people? It is what actually matter the most. So yes, I have to learn again back in 2019. From then, I have to learn how to socialize more with people, because I'm actually quite an insecure person.
Really?
Yes, insecure, and I'm not that kind of person that start the conversation at the first place. So it is kind of hard to build that wall and just to break in. But then, of course, I learned from lots of people, watching lots of references, and I know being a Putri Indonesia has always been my dream since way maybe a decade before. So yes, while I want to pursue that dream, and that's the steps that I have took.
Okay, so as I know that you also have a platform, a better equal, that you want to bring while you're joining Putri Indonesia and also Miss Supranational. So what kind of value do you want to bring through your platform, Better Equal?
Yeah, so looking back to our main topic today, is that being a beauty pageant is not only about physical. So what intrigues me the most about Putri Indonesia is that we are not only being a model, we are also being the person that brings value, bring concerns about our local communities, bringing also the matter that we concern the most. And so for me, it's about women, it's about education. I strongly believe that the power of education, the power of women could help to solve the matter between, or not only Kota Batu or Jawa Timur, but also all over Indonesia. Because if we fix our education system, we fix our perception and our chances between women in our community, I strongly believe that Indonesia someday will be led again by another woman.
Okay, very strong opinion of you about equality and also education, because as we know that if you have that platform that are equal, you also be the one who is giving examples to other people, to other women about how to be a woman, so they are not underestimated by other people.
Yes, that's the main point of Better Equal actually. How women could feel appreciated, could be empowered, because we know that in Jawa Timur especially the ranks of child marriage is quite high. So I was born and raised in Jawa Timur, and I was quite shocked that the friends around me, I was so lucky that I was raised with a family that encouraged me to be beyond and to break barriers. But what about my friends? What about the community outside my family? Some of them are still limited between those barriers, between those stigmas, and I don't like that I was this person alone behind those barriers. So that is the function of Better Equal. How could we encourage women to be empowered from just their home, from taking care of their children, but also making money from their family, helping the economy, as well as feel free, feel empowered.
Okay, so as we know that you are the third runner-up of Miss Supranational 2022. So since you're competing with other women from all over countries in the world, how do you feel about that? How was the experiences, the journey that makes you the Adinda that you are today?
Looking back, I was remembering the crowning night of Putri Indonesia, 27th May 2022 to be exact. And when I was crowned and I was told that I was going to Poland in about a month later, back then, I was just thinking in my head, oh my God, what should I do? I'm bringing the name of Indonesia right now, not only Jawa Timur, and what should I do? There are lots of things to prepare, but most importantly, my mental. What should I do? What should I talk? What should I bring to the table? Because it's a huge matter. For me, it's a very huge matter because it's not only about competing, it's not only about being pretty again, but it's about representing Indonesian women to the best quality as possible. I met a huge kind of variance of culture again, to be exact about 70 different cultures in Poland. We gathered and we talked about this matter, about women, about aspirational and inspirational, and I think those kind of competition, not only Miss Supranational, but lots of beauty pageant that I also admired, they have this message that being a woman is something that we should proud of. Being a beauty pageant queen, it's something that we should pursue for, because the matter of the conversation should be heard and should be understood by lots of people. So what I did was just trying to give my best personality as much as possible, because I want to know them. I want to gain sisterhood. I want to gain connection. I want to gain a future investment from those girls, from the organization as well. Because not only about bringing back the title, but most importantly, those kind of connection that I want to gain. So yes, I want at the first day I was talking to the girls from Asia, and then the next day I was talking to the girls from Europe. I don't want to just belong to one group. I want to belong to the whole communication, the whole community, the whole girls of finalists. So that's what I did. And then after the competition, I gained lots of friends, and we still keep in touch up to this day. And they invite me to go to German, to go to Netherlands, because my roommate was from Netherlands. And then I have best friends from South Africa as well. So it was such a great opportunity, such a great experience for me to gain sister from another mother.
Because as we know that it is very amazing to see women empowering other women. That is really powerful of you. And Kak Dinda, as you stated that you met 70 other girls
Yes.
from all around the world. So how do you bring Indonesia to them? More especially maybe Kota Batu
Yes.
to them. How do you introduce to them?
So one of the things that I did was on the final night, we have to greet the people from the based on our local language. But what I did was I greet them with Bahasa Jawa, with Sugeng Dalu, because I want to show that I am so proud to come from the culture of Java, to come from Malang, from Batu, Jawa Timur. So many pageant lovers were quite shocked when I told them Sugeng Dalu, because the organization asked me to just greet them with Selamat Pagi or Selamat Malam, just the bahasa Indonesia yang baik dan benar. But then I saw this as an opportunity to greet them from my local wisdom. So yes, I greet them with Sugeng Dalu, and they asked, what does that mean? It's so from that they asked more about my culture from Malang, and then I also bring some batik from Batu, from the ibu-ibu of Better Equal. So then the conversation got enlarged. I get to share them about Better Equal and stuff like that. So I get to promote them with the keripik tempe. That of course I'm proudly and humbly honored to share those stories about the mothers from Better Equal, from Desa Junrejo, and I get to cook the tempe with them and process the tempe, not only being about keripik, but being such an added value such as brownies and cookies and stuff like that.
That is really amazing, Kak Dinda, because when you tell stories about your journey, it makes me like, wow, this woman is really amazing in front of me.
Amen.
So, as an amazing woman, there must be someone who is really inspiring to you.
Yep.
Maybe like the influential that has give you influential. So, who is that person?
Of course, standing on a big stage such as Putri Indonesia and Supranational, or even just to sit here, and I went through lots of different phases in my life, but always I was very thankful for the presence of my mother, Ibu Emma, who is always standing behind the camera wherever I go, wherever I went through lots of those phases in my life. Ibu Emma was always behind the camera, and she never pushes me to do anything she wants. She just pushes me to go as limitless as possible. I think that's one of the privilege that I could get, because not many mothers could actually did that, but Ibu Emma did that, so I'm very thankful for her.
Ibu Emma must be very proud of what you have become right now. Okay, so Kak Adinda, as we talked about your inspirational journey, and now you're here as Putri Indonesia Pariwisata 2022 and also third runner-up of Miss Supranational 2022. Like, you are the girl that many girls are dreaming of.
Amen.
So what is your next plan? What is your future plan after this?
Of course, after dipping a bit deeper about the Putri Indonesia and being the third runner of Miss Supranational, from those experiences I get to see that this is actually what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to be vocal. I want to share my opinion. I want to talk more about women and education. And so hopefully in the future, I really want to stay between this path, or even work together with the UN. Hopefully,
Hopefully, amin ya Allah.
And not only within Indonesia, but hopefully another chance of representing Indonesia in the state of the United Nations, hopefully someday.
Amin.
Behind those little mics and the tables of United Nations, I get to voice out that Indonesia is more than just Bali. Indonesia is more than just Jogja. We have Kota Batu, we have Malang, we have Likupang, we have another beautiful destination. And I think more than that, Indonesia is filled with talented and intellectual girls, women all over our country, and that is one of the things that I want to voice out, that I want to show to the world that Indonesia is more than just our rempah-rempah.
I mean, I hope that is as soon as possible.
Amin.
We will see Kak Adinda behind the mic in the United Nations, speak out about Indonesia.
Yes, that's another of my dream list. So I used to just write my dreams in a notebook or in a piece of paper, and looking back, I was writing Putri Indonesia, but I feel the year blank because I don't know at what time that God will hand me those title, but I know that I want to pursue this until I got it. And alhamdulillah, I got it last year as Putri Indonesia Pariwisata 2022, and the next is filling the tables and the chairs in United Nations, hopefully.
Okay, I hope that is checklisted as soon as possible. So, okay, last thing, Kak Adinda, maybe all of our conversations today are very eye-opening and also inspiring for us, especially young generations. So please give young generations, young girls out there, a message from you to them, please.
There are many messages that I want to convey, but in this special moment, dear ITF friends, I hope you are all believe in yourself. I hope you believe in those little genuine hearts of yours, that you can pursue any dreams that you want, that you can be a good impact for your family, for your community, and for your nation. Always believe that you put in Indonesia or in Batu for a reason. You are put by God here to make a change, not only to your family but also to your nation. So dream big, always believe in yourself. I believe you can do anything that you believe. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Kak Adinda. We have a really inspiring and also eye-opening, like I said before, about these conversations. I hope that all of the experiences, the journeys that you have shared to us can be a motivation for all young girls out there, especially maybe from a small city like Batu City,
Yes.
to dream big, like push the limit, don't live in a box.
I always believe that a small circle is one place that we can grow the most. So between this small city, let's just prove to the world that we are more than just the hectares or the area of our city. We are more than just that circle. Let's prove to the world that we can choose and we can be whatever we want. So make proud of it, be proud of yourself, be proud of where you came from, and let's prove to the world.
Okay, thank you so much, Kak Adinda. Once again, we are very honored and also pleased. Today we have a conversations with you in your packed schedule.
Thank you.
Please stay
Mamun.
healthy. So thank you so much, ADF friends, for watching through our whole video. We hope you enjoyed it and you can be motivated by it.
Amin.
Thank you very much. See you next time in another ATF podcast. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.